Yeah, array topic will not come in the OPP exam. So syllabus is still week 6 only. So basic problems not related to any strings or any array type questions. So array will become in the OP2 exam. Okay, so just solve all the mock questions. Also understand everything in the mock questions. So these questions
Okay,
we,
sir.
we have released like first three questions. So you should have good understanding of that. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible and streaming is already started. Okay, fine. So week 8 is in next steps of the programming that so till now we have seen that basic problems which takes single inputs and we perform some operation on that inputs and get some output. After that, in week 7, we also introduce this array and strings. So where we have some set of values and we need to perform some operation on set of values, then return the output. Now, in the real life scenario, we have also some problems that takes the data in the grouped manner. Okay, so like suppose if we take an example of the college itself, okay, and we are collecting the marks of the students in any particular course. So generally, we takes the data like. So we takes the data like for we are collecting the marks of students. So we generally store the roll number, okay, roll number and name and marks like this. Okay, so this is just a data we are collecting, and after that, this is the attribute we want to store in our data record, or we can say record. And for each attribute, we store the values. So, like for first student, roll number is like suppose 10001, and name is suppose Amit, and marks suppose we have the only one particular course and we are directly storing the marks for that like C programming, and out of 100 we are getting the marks like 60. Okay, second student have another roll number and maybe another name, and that have scored like 70. Okay, so in this we have this type of record like this. Okay, so this type of data is also sometimes provided and we need to perform some operation on this type of records. Okay, where so suppose what may be the query for this type of data. So let's the query is looks like what is the name of the students who have the highest marks in this, okay, in this C programming course. So in this way, that means in these three records, we have these three records, and what is the name of the students? Those who have the highest marks in this C programming. So that is suppose this is 8. So we need to return the result as a Ajay. Okay, and sometimes maybe what is the roll number of the student who have the lowest marks. So that means we will just compare the marks and we will return the corresponding roll number for that 10001. Okay, and sometimes maybe directly what is the marks for this roll number 1002 10002. Okay, so we need to return the answer like as a 70. So that means when we are writing a program to solve this type of query on the records, so we need to store this type of data in grouped manner. Okay, so that means we always have this three information in one grouped memory. Okay, all these three information should remain with the in a one group. So because this represent the data for one particular instance of the student or maybe one particular student. Okay, same the second row is representing the data for the second student. Okay, so in this way we may have multiple number of records like 100, 200, many number of data. So and we need to perform this type of query on that data. So that is generally in the terms of record, we generally use the term database. Okay, so we have this type of database, and after the database we will perform some query on that database on records. So this type of scenario may become on any type of like employee based. Okay, so employee we have the data the employees, where we have the employee ID, employee name, employee salary, employee department. So each employee contain all these attributes for the information. So we can store the data for each employee in this manner, in the grouped manner. Okay. So to perform the query on this type of records, how we can write a program in C, and how we can store this type of data in our C, and which data structure will be suitable for this. So till now you have already seen the array that contain only one type of data. So suppose if you are creating an array like A100, so that array will contain only 0 to 99. These are the index of the array, and each place you can only store the data which is the type of integer. Okay, so that integer value you can store at the each place. Okay, so that is not the case here. So here you can see one of the attribute value may be integer like this, one of the value of the attribute may be string, and another marks may be like sometimes float also. Same way for the employee record, or for the like account record or hospital record. Any type of record, you may have the data of one particular that entity in the different data type. Okay, in the form of different data types. So here we can store this type of data in one array like this. Okay, so how we will store this? So now we have a new data structure in C, so that we are covering in the Week-8. So that is called as a user defined data types. Okay, so user defined data types, that means C provides this this type of structure, and we use this structure, and we can create according to our need, we can create a structure or grouped information with the help of this structure. Okay, so this is called as a user defined data types that we can define according to our need. So what is this data structure, user defined data structure? So mainly three data we have: structure, union, and enum. Okay, so this is called as a union, that user defined data types, and we will understand this one by one. So first is structure. Okay, so according to the name, so this represents some structure or group. Okay, for some specific record. So what is the definition? Structure in a C is a user-defined data types that allow grouping together variable of different data types under one name. Okay, so that means we can store multiple data, different data types information with one name. Okay, and it is used to represent a record. Okay, so as I discussed what type of records we can store in this, and then comes to the syntax. Okay, so what is the syntax of this struct? This is the keyword. Okay, this is the keyword for programming as C programming. Struct, we have to write first. After that we have to define some name for this structure. So what type of information we are storing? If we are storing information for like student marks, so we can give name like student marks. Okay, if we are giving that we are storing the basic information of the student, so we can give the name like student info. Any name which represent some meanings, okay, which you can understand, which you can remember, that name you can give like a variable name. So structure name. After that, this is the open curly bracket, and this is the close curly brackets after this semicolon. In between we have to define the members. Okay, so member is just the attributes of that information. So what type of info attributes we want to store for that, okay, record. So for each member we have to define, like now this is the simple variable. Okay, simple variable. So data, just mention the data type and the name attribute. Yeah, Niso.
So what does it mean under one name?
Sorry, what is which? Can you repeat your query?
Yes, sir. So what does it mean under one name? Data type under one name.
Data type member one. Where is the under one?
So in definition.
Here. No, I'm not teaching.
Sir, in definition, different data type under one name, sir.
Okay, okay,
Second.
this one, yeah. Okay, you're talking
Yes,
about
sir.
this one. Okay, okay, fine. So that means we will assign a single name for this structure, and with the help of the single name, we can actually get the data of multiple different attributes. So for overall structure name, we will assign only one name. So what is the structure name we have? After that, we can access each member of that with the help of that one single name. Okay. So for this group
Yes, sir.
data, we will assign a single name. Yeah, that I'll discuss the example. Okay, in this week. Okay, yeah, Raksha, Haris.
Yes, sir. Sir, sorry for interrupting. I had a doubt, non-academic. Sir, they had given a Google form related to lab slot selection.
Hmm.
Because of some health issues, I couldn't see that email. So I was unable to do it, even the accommodation form. So will they provide it again or will they not?
Right now, I'm not sure, but you can write a mail to support for that.
Yes, sir. They told first time when I wrote, they told wait for an announcement, and again when I wrote, they didn't respond.
So that actually still that grading is need to be finalized for C programming. So some that updation is happening on the grading part this time because the lab is separated, and after that they will only finalize the things. So maybe they will give another chance, okay, for to select the slots. So just wait for
Okay,
some
sir.
time more, or you can also write again to the support and just add me my ID in the CC. If you don't have
Uh,
my ID is just writing the chat. Okay, not speaking.
yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
When you write a mail to the support, just add my ID in the CC also. Yeah, this is my
Okay,
ID.
sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So now the first, this is the also okay. So what we have discussed now. So this is a syntax of the structure. Okay, so struct is the keyword, and after that we will give some name for that, and after that we will define the members inside that. So what type, suppose if we are declaring the members for the student marks, so what we can give, suppose the roll number is given as a integer value, so we will just define a type int, and after that we can give some name for that variable like member like a roll number. Okay, roll number, just leave it. Second data type, suppose second member is name of the student, so we will mention a name like care, and we will assign a variable name here, name, and because name we can store inside the array, so we will assign some array here. And for marks, like we can take like a float and marks as a variable name and keep it. So what type of information or what type of attributes or field you want to store in the record, that you can define. Yeah, okay. So this is just a structure we are defining here. After that, how we will use this, so that we will understand by the example. Okay, so let me open the editor and we'll discuss this. Okay. So let's we will just store the marks, same thing, student marks here. So let me write the code for that. So first thing has include has include. Okay. And next we will define a structure for this student marks. So we can write like a struct, and we can give name is to student that is marks. Okay, you can give any name. So after that, this is just a name of the structure, and after that you can open and close bracket, and this is semicolon n. Inside this, we will define the member. So for member, you can assign a like a roll number. So like int Okay, so this is the first member, and second member you can assign as a name. So like char care and name, and you can define some length of the name, like 50 length you are giving maximum, and this become an array of characters to store the name. And next member, suppose we want to store the marks, so that we can define like float and marks. Okay, so now these three fields, three members we can say, this we have created for the structure student marks. Okay, and after that, this is the definition. How we will use this? So inside the main function, so we will create a main function now. Main. Okay, so now we will create a one record. Okay, so let's see how we can create a one record for that. So the way is to create a one record. We will use the our structure name. Okay, so what structure name we have defined here? So same we will use here. Okay, so say we will write here struct student marks. So this will work as a data type. Okay, user defined data type. So because we have created one user defined data type, so this complete name now is will work as a data type, and we will create one variable for that. Okay, so like that student one. Okay, equal to, and after that, so what is the meaning of this here? So that means we have created one entity or one record, and we are giving the name for that as a student one, and the type of that student one is this structure which we have defined above. That means this student one is a single name, but we can access all these three members with the help of this single variable. And now suppose we assign the value for that. Okay, so suppose the roll number is 1001, and name just I'm assigning like as a Amit, and marks we can assign like as a 85.5 suppose. Okay, so this is the float value, and now this is the segment. Okay, so you can see we have declared one variable of this structure, and we have also assigned the value for that. So we have assigned three value here. Why we have assigned three? Because this structure contains three member, so we have assigned three value. So how we can access this now? So let's print the things. Okay, so print f and percentage d. Yeah, Nisu.
So we separate the roll number, char or float, means name and marks with the comma, not the semicolon.
So then you have to create an array like this. Okay, char. So you create like char roll number, and you have to create an array of characters like as a name. Okay, if you feel that your data will become as a combination of character, integers, all these things, so just create an array as a character array for that. If you are that
The,
your
I'm
roll number
talking
is
about this here. A student one is equals to curly bracket.
okay. What
Uh,
you are
uh,
talking?
af- After roll means roll number, name, and the marks is separated by the comma, not the semicolon, right?
Yeah, this will be separated by comma here. Okay. So these three value we are passing to the three members for this student one.
So what happen if the student says more than one?
So I'm just talking about one student record, one student. So for second record, we have to create another variable. Okay. So I'll also discuss that how you can store the multiple student records. Okay. So this is the first thing. I'll come to that point also. Okay. So first thing, just understand that how we are creating a variable of type structure and how we can access the member, how we print the members or how we can read the members. So that things I am discussing first. So to print the data of this all these three fields, so how actually store, how we can access the data, so that we are understanding here. So student one, this is the variable name, and we will use dot operator here. Okay, to access the member of that variable which we have created, we will use dot operator, and after dot we can directly use the member name. So what is the member name? Roll number. So roll number, now this is the first value. Okay, and we will use some slash n to separate it. Okay, after that second line, suppose we want to print another thing, so print f and then print name. So we will use s string and slash n, and to print the name we will use this same student one dot name. Okay, and this is the second variable we are accessing, and next last printf and then percentile f, and this time student one dot uh, that marks. Okay, so now this three value we are getting here. Okay, and let's run this and see are we getting correct output or not. Okay, so you can see how this data is stored, and student one dot roll number is printing this roll number which we have stored, and student one dot name, student dot marks. So all these three information is saved with this single variable. Okay, in the group manner. So that means memory assigned for this single variable as a field. Okay, three fields, and these three fields are these roll number, name, and marks. And we have all these three data as a single record or grouped in the grouped form. If we want to store another student record, we will create another variable for that, and we will write like we will change the name student 2, and we will change the information like 2, then suppose this is Rahul, and this marks is like 50. Okay, so now we will print the different data, so that is only student 2. Okay, so member name will remain same, and we will see, you can see the second data we are getting. So we have defined the structure only once, and we can use any number of times that structure. Okay, only create a variable for that data type where we will use the data type of our structure which we have created, and according to that we can store the information in the group manner. Okay, student 2, student 3. So this is the way where you are creating a variable for each record. Okay, so student 1, student 2, student 3. This is not the correct way to store the multiple data, more than like 10 or more than 100. So how you will manage this? So the next step is how we can store the data for multiple records without creating object like this. So that is the step. Actually, we will create an array. Okay, we will create an array for this. So how we can create an array? So same data type we will use. Yanisu,
So why do you not read the data type?
where reading means input you want to take from the user.
So
Okay, so that data which I have assigned here, you want to read through the user. Okay, you are saying this. Okay, so that things we can also do. So let's just do not assign this. Okay, after that, just read the data from the user for that. So let's read the data for student 1. So just use this as F and percentile that D for the roll number, and this time we will use this student 1 dot that roll number. Okay, and we will use the same thing, and okay, so this is the first record we will read. Second record we will read in the same way, but we can read as a string. So that is S, and here this is name. and next is this marks. But for the array, actually, if you want to store array, so we no need to require this. Okay, this and okay, this is f. So now this three value we are reading. Okay, and then we'll see. Let's make this as a comment. Okay, so now it is asking to give the input. So like one, like 20G. This is like as a roll number, and then just let's say name and marks like as 40. And see, we are getting this stored. Okay, so 22G. Now by this print statement, all information is printing. So you can see we are getting the data from user and we are storing in our one student one. Okay, so is this fine? You are asking to this one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now this is the one way how we can store the data for single record. But if you want to store the record for multiple students, how we will do? So for that, we will create an array. Okay, so suppose we will create one array, and we will use the same structure type. So like this, student marks, and we will create an like we will give some name for that. Suppose student data. Okay, so I've given this name as a student data, and after that we have assigned like 10. Okay, so now this is here we have created one array. Okay, and that array will contain 10 record 10 data, and here data type for this array is actually that structure, okay, which we have created here. So that means here each index of this array is will work as an one single record. Okay, so how we can assign the value? So now this will work like this. So student student data, and for index 0, okay, will be assigned the value like this. So 1001 and comma, and same string Amit, and then name like 20. Okay, so this is now one record, and now we can use this as a one. Oh, this is sorry, this is scanf thing. We can read this also, but let's just make a main explain this here. Okay, so you can see same things now. Okay, what error is there? What error is? Okay, we missed something. This one. Error is there. Okay, so that I think just in this way we cannot assign the value like this. Alex is in the main error. Okay. So then we have to assign the value like only this way. So dot roll number 101. Name, and this is like I say marks, and here okay, dot name is still this. Type capability is not assignable. Okay, so we can, okay, generally array we cannot assign the value in this way also. So to reading the data for this type of record, then we have to run a loop only. So how we can read the records? Let me take small example. Okay, so three here. So we will run a loop here. So for like int I for the index, int I equal to 0, and then I is less than equal to 3 2. Okay, so last index is 2. So then I plus plus, and then we will write a code to read the data from user. So that is scanf, and all these three field we will write here. So that we have written here. One second. And this time we will use the student data, and we will use the index as a, we will pass index here as I. And we will use the AND operator here. So now you can see by this loop, we will read the record for three students. Okay. And same we can use for printing the records. So for this here, and okay, so this loop we will use I here. So I, okay, now this three information we have. After that this loop, okay, so now code is done. So let's run this. Let's see. So record, suppose I am entering like 1001 and space like Amit space and 40. Okay, then this data like 1002 and Ajay and 50.5 and 1003 and at the V like 30. Okay, and now you can see we have entered three records, and all this data is now printing by the second loop in the group way. 10, so this is the one data, this is second one, and this is the third one. So all these three records are stored. Now you can contain the records any record. So you just have to, you need to just create an array. So this time we have created the array for three, and you can, if you want to store the 100 records, so just use the 100 size array and run this loop 100 times to read the data. Okay, and that data will be stored in your array. So each array index value is actually pointing to a one record. So here that how this data structure is working. So we are creating an array student data. So that array is creating like this. Okay, so we have three index, so 0 1 2, and each value actually this is pointing to one group memory, so that contains three field. Okay, so first is for id, so id or roll number, and second is name, and third is this marks. Okay, so this roll number is just a integer, so this is the type of integer, this is a array. Okay, so this part is an actually array uh, of character, and this is a float. This is just a memory which is created as a grouped manner, and this memory is linked to the as a value here. So this is the value we are pointing here. So the reference for this memory is actually stored as a value of the inside this array. Okay, so suppose we have given the name of this array A, so A0 is actually pointing to this memory, and this memory contains these three different types of data space. So in this way, you can create an array of any size and you can store the records of multiple students. Later, you can perform any task on this. Okay. So you can figure out that which student have the highest marks or lowest marks. So then you can perform your logic after. So in this program, so let's take one scenario here. So suppose these 3 marks we have here. Okay, so 3 marks. Then we will again input. So let me just copy this
So can we write the printf statement in first for loop?
here. So after reading the first data,
Yes, sir.
how you can write. So that will okay. So I think it maybe creates a problem like this.
Yes, sir.
So what will happen actually? Once we will enter one input, after that it will print all the out value again. Then it will ask again to input. Let's run this and see. Okay. So 101 space 12 space 3, and you can see. So now first line, first input, we have passed 3 value, and so same is printed by the print statement. So then it will ask again for the next input. It is asking or not? It is asking. So 102, and then Amit, and then like 30. Okay, it will print again the same. So here we are reading the data at the same time, and after reading we are printing the same that data. Then it loop will run again, so it will read again second data and print again that data. Because indexing we are using same. So zero indexing we are store the data, and same time we are printing that data. So in this way we are getting this type of output. Okay. So this is the one way, but this is not a very common thing. So we generally not print the data at the same time of reading. So once we will store the data, then we perform some task. So how we can perform the task? Suppose in this record, we want to find out the student who have the highest marks. Okay. So how we can do this? So that means we have the information like we have total record 3. Okay, so 3 student record we have. Now we will run a loop, and in this loop, we will check. So we will store the index for that, which index actually have the highest. Let before running the loop, we will just take some variable int max id. Okay, max or kuch, we can give any name. So max in equal to 0. Okay, and we are assuming that the first that index student contain the maximum marks. So that we are simply assuming. Okay, after that we can run a loop, and we will simply compare the marks for that. If we found more marks, okay, if we found more marks compared to the previous one, then we will update our max index, okay, in the for loop. So here what we will do in the first loop, we will check if that student data. Okay, so that data structure we will use student. So inside the conditional statement, we use this, and I. Okay, so now I is started here, that from 1, and we will compare this to max index. Okay, so this, so is greater than student data and this max index 0. If this condition is true, that means our max index, okay, so not this, uh, dot marks, we are comparing the marks. Okay, so we will use marks here also. So in this way, if this condition become true, then for this condition we will change our max id So max index equal to I. Okay. So this loop will run 1 and 2 for the remaining index, and if we found max index equal to I, this will be updated if we found more marks. And after that, if we want to print the name of that student, so after this loop, we will simply print the name field. Okay, so that will be printf and name. So for name, we will use percentile s, and we will pass the name here, so that is student data, and we will pass the what max index. Okay, so max index and dot name. Okay, so now this is the print statement. So let's run this and again input the data. So like 1 0 1, and like RJ and 20, and like 1002 Ravi and 80 1003 and like 50. Okay, and when we enter, so you can see we are getting the name of that who have the highest marks, Ravi. Okay, so this is the way to compare the one attribute and return the another information corresponding to that. So this is one example how we can perform some operations on this type of group data. So you have all attribute names because you created this structure. So what are the name you are creating? You have this information. After that, you
Sir,
can
please
store.
explain this code.
Okay. So what we are doing, first things, we have a plan to store the data of student marks. Okay, and we will store three type of information: student roll number, student name, and marks. This is our input for the question. So we are creating a structure for that. So that means how we will store the data in grouped manner. So what information we will store? So first step is create a structure for that. So that is the keyword. After that, we are giving some name of that structure. So that is student marks. Inside for this structure, we are creating three attributes inside that. First is roll number, second is name, and another is third one is marks. And you can see each type of data is different. Roll number is representing as an integer. Okay, so and name will be represented as a character array, as a string, and marks will be can become as a float. So we will create each attribute with the different types according to our need. So after this structure definition, now we will create a record for that. Okay, so suppose we want to store the three record. Okay, so because of that, we have created an array of three size, and this array data type should be the same structure which we have created. Okay, struct student marks. So that complete things will you have to retain here. So okay, struct student marks. So this should be as a data type for the array. So after that, each value inside this array will be pointing to a one record. So that record reading by this first for loop. So first for loop, you can see when I become 0, so that means student data I, student data 0, we are storing the data. Okay, so this is pointing to a first record, and for this record we are storing these three information: roll number, name, and marks. Student data 0 index. So you can see we are reading all these three information. Then this loop will run again for I equal to 1. Then second record will be inserted. Then I equal to 2. Then third record will be inserted. So now our data is stored, okay, in our data type, this array. Now we have a problem like just return the name of the student who have the highest marks. So that problem I have taken here. So for this, what I am assuming, I am assuming that index 0, that means first record contain the highest marks. I am assuming this. Okay. After that, I'll just compare. Okay, I'll simply compare the marks with the each student which are remaining after that. So I am running a loop from one index. Okay, 0 I have already assumed this is a maximum marks. After that, we will compare with 1 and 2 this marks. If we found greater marks compared to the this max index marks. Then I'll change our max index. Okay, suppose 0 marks, in this example you can see first index 0 index as it have only 20 marks. Then I'll compare by this condition. So for index 1, okay, so I equal to 1. So here I am just assuming that what is the marks for one index, so that marks is 80. Okay, and what is the marks of previous max index, which is already will have initialized 0, so that is 20. Okay, so this condition become true. So here I am changing this max index equal to I. So what was the max index? 0. This become a I. So what is the I value here in this loop is 1. So this max index become 1. Okay. In the first condition, this is satisfied. This max index is now become one index for this record. Now one record is more remaining. We will compare for that. Then I become 2. Then we will compare current maximum marks. Okay. So this which is 80. And 80 is greater than not 80, sorry, 50 is greater than the 80 marks. So this condition is not true. Then this condition, this part will not execute. And now our loop is completed. Okay. So by completion of this loop, what is the last max index value we got? That is 1. So that corresponding name we are printing here. So student data max index, that is 1. So the 1 index is pointing to this Ravi. Okay, so the Ravi will be printed here. Okay.
Yes,
So,
understood.
so in this way,
But
this
how,
execution is happening.
sir, but
Yes.
how the if statements you computed?
Which statement?
So if a statement, I don't understand it.
Okay. So let me just keep this code part and explain in the. So what happened when we store the data? So we have created one array. So that is student data. Okay, that is an array. So that array is actually have 3 index 0, 1, 2. This index contain the data like what was the record? That was the 100 RJ 20. So that is 101 RJ and 20. Okay, this field contain the record of 1002 Ravi and 80, and this was the another name that is I think Ram. So 1003 and Ram and that 50. Okay, so this is field roll number. This is name and this is marks. Okay, so now our array is created like this. After that, what we are assigning max m, x, I, and d. We have assigned 0. Okay, so this value we have assigned 0. Now we are running a loop I equal to 1 to 2. Okay, 2 value. So when I equal to 1, so for in the first iteration I is 1. In this case we are checking this condition. Okay, so this condition is for I equal to 1, we are checking student data and I. What is the I here? 1. Okay, dot marks is greater than student data and max max I and d. So what is the current max is 0. So that is 0 dot marks. Okay, so now just see student data 1. So this is the 1 dot marks. So what is the marks? 80. Okay, so 80 is greater than student data 0. Okay, so max index we have get here and 0 is pointing to this, and what is the marks? 20. Is this condition true? It is greater than 20. Yes. Okay, if this condition is true, what we are writing here, max index equal to I. So m, x, I, and d equal to what is the current I value is 1. So now that means previous mx index was 0, but now we have updated this. Okay, this becoming 1. Now next iteration when I become I equal to 2. So in this case, student data. Now I, what is the value this time? 2. Dot marks is greater than student data. Now max index. So what is the max index now? 1. Okay. So dot marks. Student 2 dot marks. What is the marks of student 2? 50. Okay, so 50 is greater than what is the student 1 marks? So that is actually 80. 80. Okay. So this condition is true? No. So then we will not enter inside the if condition. And now loop is terminated. Okay, so because we have only this range. So during this process, what was the last max index value? So you can see this is 1. So finally mx I and d is equal to 1. And we are printing the name for this. So we are simply printing the student underscore data and max index, that is 1 dot name. What is this name? This name is Ravi. Okay, one name is Ravi. So Ravi is printing in the output. Okay, so I hope this is clear how we are working.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, this is the example for this struct data type, how we can use this. So now you can see the we have seen this example. We have the student name, age, marks. Okay, so you can assign, you can define any type of structure according to your need, what type of information you want to store in the group, and based on that you can define your structure. And you can read the data or you can display the data in this way using the dot operator. Okay, so this dot is important thing here. So what variable name you are creating, and use the dot operator, and after that you can access each field for that by the attribute name. So this is the structure things. And let me check another is a okay. So I'll check. I'll discuss that thing later. How we will use the structure with the pointers. Okay, so pointer representation is different, so that I'll discuss later. Okay, so this is the structure first thing, and we have the another user defined data types. So that is actually union in this way. Okay, this is very similar to the structure. Okay, so you will see that the way of defining, way of using is very similar. Okay, but what is the difference that we will discuss here? So a union in C is a user defined data type that allows storing different data types in the same memory location. Here, say this is the some different statement. Okay, so unlike a structure where each member has its own memory location, all members of a union share the, so all member of a union share the same memory location. So this is the different point which actually make different with the structure, okay, to this union. So what is the meaning of this same memory or different memory? So when we are creating a structure, okay, so suppose we are creating a structure struct for that, like suppose student, and we have created three fields. Okay, so like int id, okay, and suppose care name and 50, and this is suppose marks. This is like I say float. Okay, so these three field we have created. So you know that integer generally takes 4 byte. Okay, it may be take different things, but I am assuming here it takes 4 byte. Character is takes 1 byte. Now we have created 50 characters array, so it will take total 50 byte. Float takes 4 byte. Okay, so most of the cases 4 bytes, so 4 byte. Okay, now these three space are actually totally different memory location. So that means 4 byte is now separated in the memory, 50 byte after that for this part, and this 4 byte is the different. Okay, so this is for id, this is for name, and this is for marks. Okay, so this is totally separate memory location. for each part, name, ID, and marks. Okay, and it is not interfering each other. So marks ID will be stored in this location, names will be stored this location, marks will be stored this location. So each part will be separated in memory. So that is the assignment in structure. Now comes to the that union. Okay, so union now is the similar very things. We can define the members of this type. Let's I'm taking int uh, okay, int a. Okay, I have declared one variable int a. Now I have declared here one variable like float b, and I have declared another variable like double c. Okay, three members I have created. But how memory will be allocated for this? Okay, int a, float b, and double c. This time, int take 4 byte, float take 4 byte, double take 8 byte. Okay. Now the memory will not be allocated three separated part. Okay. This time 4, 4, and 8. Not like this. What is the largest data types we are taking here? What means member which takes the largest size. Okay. So you can see this member takes the largest size in this group. 8. So only that memory will be allocated. 8 byte will be allocated for this complete union. Okay. So that means in union, this A, if we assign any value for A, that will also use the same memory location. If we assign any value for B, that will also use the same memory location. And this C will also use the same memory locations. Okay. Same memory 8 byte, not separate memory here. So union purpose is to store at a time at any single value, member value, not the all member value. So for union, we can assign a different members, but at a time we will assign a value on a single member value, not in the all member. Then we can use efficiently or correctly. Otherwise, suppose if you assign the value for each member, then your data may be lost. Okay, because we have only this 8 byte. If you assign value for A, B, and C, all these three, then your data may be corrupted or maybe lost, because here you cannot store the all three members value in 8 byte. So this is the difference in union and structure. Okay, here we are using the share memory, and that memory size is to point to the largest size of the any one of the member which have the largest size. Okay, so this is the difference. I hope this is clear. Now the what is the difference and what is the meaning of here this? Unlike structure where each member has its own memory location, here in union, all members of a union share the same memory location. Okay, this is the only difference. Otherwise, the definition, declaration use is very similar. So you can see in union, we use the union keyword. In the structure, we use the struct, but here we use the union. After that, you can simply use the union name. You can assign any name for that, and then members for that. Okay, data type like this, any number of members. Only the change this keyword. And same way, so this is the example. So just understand this example. So you see what is the basic purpose of sometimes. So what happens sometimes we have one attribute, okay, but value may be different for that attribute. So that value may be string, value may be like float value, that value may be int value. But we want to optimize the size in the memory. Okay, we have some limited, suppose we are talking about some embedded, say that microcontroller where we have the limited memory. Okay, so we cannot waste our memory. So in that type of case, if we maybe get different data types of like data, that may be character or float or integer. So to store that data at a one, so at one time we will store one value in among all these types, but we will utilize our memory. Okay, so that means we will not allocate three different memory for these three different type of data. So we will create an union, and that union will only allocate, here you can see, so this is the largest size 20. Okay, so 20 size memory block will be allocated to complete this union structure. If your value is coming as an integer, then integer value will also be assigned on this memory location. If value you want to store as a float for this variable value, then that value will also be stored in this location. Or if you are storing as a string, that will also be stored in the same location. Okay, so we are optimizing the memory actually here. Sometimes, so in this type of situation, we can use this type of union data structure where we can store different types of value in the same memory location. Okay, so that is actually union. So here you can see we have defined int value, float value, character value, and in our program you can see we can assign like this v int value 10. So 10 will also be stored in this memory location, and we are printing here, and we are changing our value to v dot float value equal to 3.15. So that value we can use, store, and same time strings we can also store. Okay, so that will we can also store with the help of these members. But all are storing at the same memory location. So do not store multiple value in this group. Okay, at a time only store single value, then you can use this as correctly. Otherwise, you get the incorrect data if you are storing the multiple data. Okay, so this is the union data structure. Most of the time, struct actually generally used in most of the problems. You will use the structure, but you should have the good understanding of this union also. Okay, so maybe some conceptual question may be asked in the exam, or you should have what is the difference between struct and union. So you should have the idea for this. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Union. Or let me run this part on the compiler. Okay, so same code which I have discussed. As include string.h. So we cannot use, we cannot directly copy. Okay, so we cannot assign the value v dot string value equal to hello. Okay, so that things we cannot do. If we want to copy one string to another string variable, so we can use this function str copy. Then first where we are copying and what value we are copying. Okay, so because of that we were actually getting an error when we are assigning the value in our array directly. Okay, so in this way we can only assign the value at the in the code. Okay, so here you can see if we run this code, how this is getting the output. So you can see int union value v. Okay, so we have assigned this value 10, and we are storing this value. Okay, 10. After that we assign the second value, then we are getting 3.4. So third value we are getting this. So once we are assigning second value, okay, so this value will actually stored in your the same memory, and this may be removed. Okay, this will not be stored at the time. It may be stored, suppose if maximum size is 20, or this it is taking like 4 byte, it is also taking 4 byte. So 4 byte both are taking, so 8 byte is only consuming. So at this, in this case, both value can be stored. But suppose you have each field have a like a 8 byte, suppose. Okay, 8 byte, and what you are doing, so maximum size will be assigned to 8 byte. Okay, and you are storing the value of two fields, then it will create a problem, because each value is taking 8 bytes. So if you are storing two value, so one value will be removed because there is no space. So here if you are assigning second value, so that maybe will be remove the first value in the memory. same memory location. If we are assigning the third value, so it will remove the previous value from the locations. Okay, so last value will be stored as a final value, same memory location. So this is useful in this type of case where you want to optimize the memory and want to store the different type of data in with the same name. So yeah, this is the example. And you can see we are defining the union in the same way. This is the keyword and then value and then variable names. Okay. And after that, we are creating the variable for that union. Okay. So union value, same we are using, and then variable name. And then we are storing the data for with name v dot. So same dot operator will also we use here also. Okay. So this is the one union. Okay, any query in this union?
So the byte of the float have the maximum, right? As compared to the
No, no, no. Here we have an array also. Okay,
in
so
previous
array.
example.
This one now.
No, sir.
So
In previous.
uh, here.
Yes, sir. As compared to the int and char, right?
No, no. So here we are creating an array. Na? So this array is actually taking 20 characters. So 20 is the maximum size here. Okay, so what variable actually taking the size? So here this is an actually single integer, single float, but this is an array 20. So overall size for this number is 20. So this 20 will be assigned to as a final space.
And each char
Okay.
having the one byte, right?
So in array, each character is taking 1 byte. So
Okay, sir.
total space required for this member is 20. Okay, if we are taking like a single character char string value, there is no array. Okay, so suppose we are removing this. So then this is 4 byte, this is 4 byte, and this is okay. So then 4 byte is the maximum. So 4 will be assigned. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is all about the union, and the next one is the enum. So enum is the definition enumerated types we called as this in short enum, since C are user defined data types used to assign names to integral constant. Okay, so making program easier to read and maintain. So that means we assign some name with corresponding some integer value. Okay, so that name is actually easy to understand in some time for reading, or sometimes suppose we are providing some choice, and that where the integer value is not proper understandable, and we can corresponding assign some label for that. So that label we can use, like we will give the example. So by default, the first enumerator has the value 0. So this is the by default assigned value, and subsequent enumerator have the value incremented by 1 from the previous enumerator. So first we will discuss the structure of this. So syntax, this is the enum keyword, and then enum name. We will assign some any name for this enum. After that, what label actually we are assigning here. Okay, so that label we called as a enumerator. So we will just assign a name here. Okay, so enumerator one, any name you can assign here, and corresponding by default 0 value will be assigned for this integer value. Okay, so if you are not assigning any value, okay, explicitly, then by default 0 will be assigned for the first enumerator, and 1 will be assigned to as a second enumerator. Okay, so this will work as a label for 0 value. Okay, and second enumerator 2 will be work as a label for 1 value. So in this way, and you can also assign some specific value. Okay, so like you can write as a enumerator 1 equal to 5. So that means that label will be considered as a 5 integer value, but you can use that label in your program as a integer value. So in this example, you can understand that in a month, okay, we have created one data types for month, and now month can have only this 12 value. Okay, so 12 value, and by default we want to store this integer form for this month actually from 1. Okay, so 1 to 12. So what we can do by default, if you not assign this part, if you not write this part, so by default this will be assigned to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like, okay, to 12. Oh, sorry, 11 till 11. But if you want to assign from 1 to 12, then first numerator you can assign a 1 value. Remaining will be incremented from this one. Okay, so 1, then this become a 2, and this become a 3, this become 4, like this, 5, 6 by default. Okay, till 12. Okay, and now you can see, because we are storing, we are performing some month related info operations, and we want to represent this month by the name of month. Okay, by 3 character. So here, if we are writing 3, 4, 5, 6, this is not proper readable. We cannot understand if we are directly using 7. So we have to figure out that what is the month corresponding to 7th month. Okay, July. So to in our code, we can just give label for this 7 value as a JUL. Okay, here not a string. This is not a string. We are not assigning any single quote or double quote like this. Okay, this is just as a label. Okay, we can give, and this label is now assigned for this integer value. Okay, 7, when we will use 7, that will represent as a July, and when July, that will represent as an integer 7. So these are related information. Okay, now both. So in our program, suppose we are giving this thing main equal to this and month. Okay, now we will create a that variable for that in a, we will write like same in a month. So now this become a data type. After that, m1, m2. So we have created two variable for this. So what you can do, suppose you can directly assign value like this, m1 equal to feb. Okay, month 1 equal to feb. So here this is properly readable what month you are assigning to m1, what month you are assigning to m2. And corresponding value you can use in your program for some case like this thing. Okay, so suppose if you're switch case, so case 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can pass this m1 value, and that can be treated as the corresponding integer value. So it will be treated as 2 value. Okay, NOV will be treated as 11 value. So, and if you will print the percentile d corresponding value for that, you can also see what this label is actually corresponding to integer. So when you will print m1, you this code will print 2. Okay, so in this way you can give some label to, and that label will be linked to some corresponding integer value, will be that can be used as an integer, but that will be displayed as a some label which is informative. So this is one example. Let's run this and do some experiment with this type of code. And what is the, this is also very important for the end term exam purpose. So so you can see, if I assign Jan equal to 1, and then we see what value we are getting. Okay, so in this code, month 1 equal to m1. So m1 is 2. Okay, corresponding to value is 3. M2 corresponding coming is 11. Okay, as expected. If we not assign any value, so by default this will start from 0. So you can, this is now 1 and this is 10. And what happen if we assign the first value as a 1, and here, okay, so from here I have assigned here 5. Then what will be the value for the remaining one? Okay, so what will be the value for, what will be the value for MAR, like this. Okay, and let me take one more assignment equal to 20. Then what will be the effect? So here effect will be when Jan is assigned to 1. So next, if it is not assigned, that will be the 1 incremented by the previous assigned value. Okay, so previous, if it is assigned, so that is 1 plus 1, 2. Feb will be assigned as a by default 2. MAR will be assigned 1 plus previous value. So 2 plus 1, 3. Okay, so March MAR will be assigned as a 3. But now April we have assigned explicitly 5. So May will read as a previous assigned value 5 and will increment it by 6. So May will become 6 here. Okay. Then June 7, then July 8, plus 9, then September 10. Then October will assign as a 20. So November will become one more than 20. Okay, so 21. Then December will become 22. So this series will work like assignment will work like this. Okay, so you can see Feb we are getting 2. Okay, and now November we are getting 21. So just remember these things, how this assignment actually works. So if you are not assigning anything, by default it will start from 0 to continuously one by after one increment. If we have assigned anything for the first value, then increment it will be performed from that value. Okay. So and in between, if we assign any value, so the next value will be assigned after that previous assigned value. Okay. So this is the difference. Otherwise, you can. So if you are writing like this, so what we are printing here. So generally, this value is actually not printed. You can see this is just a label. This will not be displayed in the output. So there is no way to display this. Okay, this will be treated as an integer, but it will be displayed as a label. This is a enum type of data structure. So these are the three user-defined data types which is discussed in Week-8 and the example. So some problems we have I've added some example problems for that use case. So you can see how we can store 2D and 3D space this point information, point representation. So you know that in 3D, 2D data, we have only two-dimensional things, X and Y surface. But 3D surface, we have three-dimensional, 3 points required. Okay, points. So how we can store the points for some that 3D surface? Okay, so that point you can store as a X point, Y point, Z point. What are the coordinate for each point? Okay, so this type of information can be given. You are given as it like 3 point in this 3 dimension, and what is the distance between the two points? Okay, so that type of questions may be asked. So you can store the points in this structure way. So for one point will be represented by 3 field, dimension. Okay, X, Y, Z. Then you will get a 1 point information. So you can see how we are reading the points. Not reading the, okay, we are not reading the Z point here. So this is an optional. If we are not storing this Z, then it becomes a 2D surface. That means X and Y coordinate only. So you can see we have declared the structure struct point, point 1, point 2. These are the two variables of type this struct. And after that, we can read any point value like 2, 3 and 10, 15. Okay, so this is the first point coordinate, second point coordinate in 2D surface. After that, we are calculating the distance between these two points. So that we can do with the help of this structure. So how we can store this type of data with the help of structure. Inventory management, you can see how we can store the record of inventory like this. So you can see so inventory may have the different type of items, so that because of that we have assigned union. Okay, union item, but in this item we have two different structure. Okay, so that is also one way to represent the data. So union is item and struct book and struct toy. So which is actually taking large data size, that memory will be allocated. So that means both struct will share the one memory location. Okay, if we are storing the record of book, so that data will be stored at that point in the same memory. If we are storing the toy, then this will take the size on the same memory. So this is also one way to store this type of data. Day of the week enum, so that we have already discussed enum day. So we can assign like this enum day, and then curly bracket, and then M1. So by default, this will be assigned 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And enum, this is a one function. Okay, so enum, this will return a enum value, and day, and this is the function. Sorry, enum day is the type of the return, and this is the function name, and we are passing some enum day today. This is one variable which we are reading. So that means we will pass some one input, and we will return a next day after that. So that is the function, this one. So here you can see we are just entering one integer value here. So like 0 to 6, suppose we are passing 5, and we are passing this 5 value here. So it will be treated as here. So current day. Okay, so this function will return a next day. So 5 we are passing, so that will 2 day plus 1 percentage 7. So this will return a 6 by giving this information. So that type of work you can do function, and yeah, this is the only example. So this is the main content of the week 8 we have, and you can explore this with some examples discussed in the practice assignment and graded assignment, and that will discuss in the coming session. Okay, any query in this part? Float have the maximum height, then should be stored in the float. Okay. Okay, any query, anyone? Or any other query related to any part, OPP, or anything general query? Yeah. Okay, no query. Then we close the session. Okay, if there is no query,
What?
then Hanisu, yeah, go ahead.
So what kind of the problems we solve in NM?
Enum, no? So enum is basically not too much specific, but sometimes what happen, we want to give like a choice. Suppose when you fill the form, okay. So suppose if you are filling the form from some some job or anything, and at that time, some in the sum box you get only choice to select. Suppose if you are selecting like what you have qualification, and they are only providing some choice to you, that is actually like a some graduation degrees or some number of degrees which you can only select. Okay, you cannot put from any value from your side, you can only select the any one of the item which is provided by the form only. So that they will provide a list of value, and you will only select that, and that value will be written as a some name. Okay, so like that value will be as a, in the general case, like if you are married or not married. So there are two options only. Okay, married, not married. Like similarly, gender is a male, female, like this. Okay, and so this type of choice when you fill, so that is value is represented which you can understand, that have some meaning. Okay, gender is male, female, but that will be treated as a some integer value in the inside the code. So that male is written as a first, so that will be treated as a 0. Okay, and female is as a will be treated as a 1, like this. So that will be treated as a value in your code, but that is displayed as a information which you can understand. They cannot display like as a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that is not actually informative. So they will provide a list of some labels or that meaningful text in the box which you can understand. But after your selection, that will be treated as a some corresponding integer value in the backend process. So that is the case in the backend coding is generally used in the when the choice selection is there. Okay.
Yes, sir. So I
So
have
can
a
you
doubt
just
in
Hmm. Yeah, someone is stopped in between. So what's your name? Yeah, please continue.
can you
Hello.
just brush up the pointers concept?
Pointer concept. Okay, okay.
Yes, sir. Like how to assigning the value and printing the address.
Okay. So generally, we not asked to print address, but yeah, you can print the address also. So let me just open the editor itself and so pointer is simple a variable. First thing, this is the variable, but that only contain the address of another variable. Okay, so this is the definition of pointer only. So
Yes, sir.
pointer, okay, and how we will store the address? So like int, uh, that can be easily understand. I think in this tutor. Okay, so let's copy that code. So here I'll assign like a variable. So a equal to, okay, so this is simple variable. Okay, but I want to store the memory address of this variable in some place. So that is actually will use as a pointer. So that int ptr. So why we I have taken this int integer here for pointer, because we want to store the address of a integer variable. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
because of that I am taking this integer as a data type for pointer. Okay, so that pointer will be like will be declared like this. Okay, so int asterisk ptr. So this is just a identification. This is a pointer. We will use this ptr as a name as a pointer, and so this is just a declaration. Okay. Now how we will assign the address for this? So that is simple ptr equal to, and how we can get the address of simple normal variable of any another any
And
okay
A.
variable, and simple that is just will return a address and a. Okay, so now you can see we have stored the address of a inside the ptr, and we can also run this print this. So printf, and that is percentile some for address. I think we store p, we write as a p, and we will use as a ptr here. So ptr. Okay, so we will also understand that and just visualize in this code. Now just see this. Now program is running. We will move step by step. So what will happen when we at the first step? Int a equal to 10. So a is a memory is assigned, and this a will be assigned. Okay, so this you can see. Let's see. So memory is also okay. Now this is fine. So after this step, you can see some memory location here. You can see in the top. This is the memory address a variable. Okay, same, this is the memory address for ptr. Okay, this is not a value, this is a memory address for pointer variable. Now ptr is still empty. Now after step this ptr equal to and a will execute. You can see what value will come, you can see. Okay, so now the address of a which is written above, okay, that is stored as a value in this in this a pointer. Okay, at this location same address is there. Now when we will print this, so that will same as will be printed here. Okay, are you getting this point?
Yes, sir.
So memory address of a is stored as a value of pointer location. Okay, so pointer is also taking some memory to store the data, and that data is actually address of another variable. So that you can see this value is stored in the pointer memory location, and that we can print with the help of this specifier percentile p. Okay, so same is now printing in the output.
Means here PTR store the address of variable A.
Yeah, you can see this.
Okay.
Okay, or pointer can
If
store the
I
address of another pointer. Okay, so let's I'm just updating this. So not only we can store the simple variable address, so we can store the address of any variable, any type of variable. So suppose let me take another pointer ptr1, ptr1, and this is simple variable. Okay, we have not assigned any value for this. Now I am assigning that value of this ptr1. Okay, sorry, this is not pointer, this is pointer. Okay, so now you can see this ptr1 is itself a pointer, but still it is taking some memory location. So memory address will be stored in the another pointer. So address of one pointer is stored in the as a value of in the another variable pointer. Okay. So again, visualize this. And just you can see A is now address this. Okay. PTR1 address is this one above FF000 BD0. PTR simple PTR is address is memory address is this one. Now the PTR1 address, this one will be copied to as a value inside the PTR. Now you can see. So that address is stored here. Okay, PTR1 address, and that will be printed ever. Same. So each
Means
variable
here,
is actually yes. Go ahead.
means here one pointer stores the other pointer's address.
Not we can always say that we can say that pointer store the address of another variable. So that variable may be a normal variable or itself that itself a pointer.
So here PTR1 is a variable.
This is a variable, but this is a pointer variable.
Okay.
Okay, so let me also explain by the graphical here. So when we create like int a equal to 10, so what happened actually, one memory space is allocated for this a, okay, like this, and 10 is stored here. But each memory locations have some address 1001. Okay, if we are int asterisk ptr, okay, so ptr1, okay, and we are leaving this same memory, some memory will be allocated for this ptr. Okay, and that may have the that will also have some address, so like 2001. Okay, each memory location have the address. If you are writing int asterisk like character, okay, so this is another memory of the character type, not sorry character asterisk ptr2. Okay, same new memory will be addressed like 3001, and this will be point to this memory location. Now if you are writing like ptr1 equal to a, okay, so that means address of a will be stored inside the memory location. So that address of a is 1001, so that means this 1001 is stored here. Okay, if I am writing ptr2 is the end of ptr1. Okay, so that means address of ptr1 is this one, memory location address, this 2001 is now stored here in place. Okay, so that means, but this pointer will always store the address, it will not contain normal value, this will always contain the address. So that variable is a specific type of variable that contain the memory address only. Okay, and
Yes, sir.
how we can get the data of that memory address. Suppose sometimes what happen, so suppose ptr1 is contain address this one 1001. Okay, then how we can get the data which is stored at this location 1001, this data, okay, 10, how we can get data with the help of pointer. So pointer contain this address, but we want to find out the data which is stored at this address. So that is actually helped by dereferencing. So if to print the data for this memory location, so you have to write. Uh, so like you will use the same a here.
So these all are the examples of referencing, right?
Dereferencing I'm taking. So yeah, I'm removing this additional things. And now you can see int a equal to 10, int asterisk equal to ptr. So this is a pointer variable which will contain the address. So we have stored the address of in this. Now we want to print the data of that address which is stored inside the pointer. So that we will use the asterisk here. Okay. Now d. Okay, so we will use the d here. Now we will get a data. Okay, so at that location. So you can see now this is the a and ptr field we have allocated. Now a is 10. Now address of this is stored inside the ptr, but output is, you can see we're getting 10. So this is dereferencing. Actually we are checking the address, and then we are checking the data on that address. Okay, so that is we are getting by this operator stick ptr. Okay, so now we are pointing to this memory, what data is actually stored at that address. So that is you can directly access the pointer. This is called as a dereferencing. Okay,
Yes, I
so
understood.
so one more option you can do. You can change the data. Okay, so how a was 10, now you have stored the address of inside the ptr. How you can change the value through the pointers? ptr stick ptr equal to 20. Okay, now you have done this operation stick ptr equal to 20. So what value is actually changed? The value of the a will actually change here. So you can see, because
Now
we
it will
have
print 20.
for a also, because a location actually data is changed, not this stick here. Okay, so you can see, if we have updated by the pointer, so that will also reflect in the data itself. So 10, then when we are writing this ptr equal to 20, so you can see this data will change in this. You can see 20 is changed. Okay, now when we will print this, so both actually pointing to the same location, so 20 and 20 is coming. Okay, a and ptr both are pointing to the same memory, so because of that 2020 is coming.
But sir, why we need to write printf percentage d comma a? I didn't understand.
D comma a, so this is simple variable. We are just checking this, if we have changed the value through pointer, is this reflecting by the variable or not? So because of that I'm just printing a directly again. So
Okay,
this
sir.
is simple variable a, and I am just again checking that a is 10 or 20.
Oh,
It's changed or not, because of the type print.
okay.
So this is just a validation. Okay, so this is the basic idea of the pointer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. After this, sir, can you please explain the question number 3 and 5 of the mock paper? So Nisu, actually just give some time. Just try to solve that questions by your own efforts. Okay, so we don't want to release the solution or initial at the initial time. We will explain the solution in on the Friday session questions. Okay, but before that you should at least try, because in the final OBP exam you have to solve the question. So just give more time. If you have any query related to any questions which you are not able to understand, then you can ask here. But
Sir,
solution
So
but
will
I
be.
am not
we
asking about the solution of that question.
So just tell me what is that? What is your query? 3 and 5. 3.
I just want to explain that question.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. So what is your query in this? Is it not clear by the explanation?
No, sir.
Okay. So write a function called total. So that means you need to write a function definition only that takes three positive integer start, end, and k. Okay. So integer value you are reading in the function parameter where start is less than end. Okay. So this value of start is less than end. What value you are getting that will satisfy this constraint. The function should calculate and return the sum of all even number within the inclusive range from start to end, uh, that are divisible by k. Okay. So in the sample example, 2 and 14 inclusive means 2 and 14 will also be considered in this range. So 2 start is 2, and is 14, and k is given as a, I think, 3. Okay. Yeah, 3. So what is the range from 2 to 14? So I'll write 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, this is the range. So 2 to 14, all value are coming. Now in this range, which value is divisible by 3? That we will check. So this one is divisible by, okay, by 3. This is also divisible, and this is divisible, and this one is divisible. Correct? So we will return the
Yes,
sum
sir.
of these numbers, sum of these numbers. So 3 plus 6 plus 9 plus 12. What we are getting? So 18 and 18 is 30. I hope this is the answer. 18. Okay, okay, 1 second. 2 to 14 and 3. Oh, even. Oh, even condition is also
It
good.
is
Okay,
asking
okay.
even number.
So I also missed. Okay. So then even number is only so in this even number is only this 6 and 12. Okay, so this will also not come and this will also not come. So two conditions we need to verify. The value should be even as well as it should be divisible by 3. Only 6 and 12 is fulfilling this condition. Both are even and both are divisible by 3 also. So 6 and 12, then we will return sum of this. So that is 18. Okay, so how you can check this? So that means you run a loop from 2 to 40 for start to end. So run a loop from this range. So I equal to 2 and then I is less than equal to 14. You can run loop like this. And
Yes,
for
sir.
each,
Understood.
okay,
But do I need to printf the
no,
divisible by 3 also?
no, no, here you need to perform both condition actually. The value which is divisible by 3 as well as even. Then include them into your sum. Okay. So that means first thing you need to check this number is even or divisible by sum. No. Okay. Then check this number is even or included by sum or sorry divisible by no. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Understood.
okay, so in the loop, just check this condition like if I is divisible by equal to 0, and second condition if I is divisible by 3 also. Okay, then only just include sum equal to sum plus I like this. Okay, before starting you can just declare sum equal to 0. This is the basic idea of this. I hope this is clear.
Yes, sir. It's clear now.
Okay, fifth problem. Okay, so this is Armstrong is an n-digit number if the sum of its digit each raised to the power of n is equal to the original number itself. So I hope Armstrong number definition is clear. What is the meaning of Armstrong number?
Yes, sir.
Huh. So 153 example given here. So that means we have total 3 digit. Okay. And later we will calculate the power of 3 for each digit and we will add all. So 1 to the power 3 plus 5 to the power 3 plus 3 to the power 3. So sum should we come to the same number. Then that number is a Armstrong number. So you need to check. So question is given that it is taking two value, 1 and 155. It is checking that how many Armstrong's numbers are coming. Okay. So you can see this is the example given. So 1 power 1 because we have only one digit. So 1 to the power 1 is coming 1. 2, 2 to the, this is also a single digit. So 2 to the power 1 is 2. 3 to the power 1. So all these number we can say that this is Armstrong number. Then 153 is coming. Okay, so 1 to 155, these 10 element, 10 value is coming as a Armstrong number. So we need to return this as a 10 answer. So first thing to solve this type of question, you have to identify number of digit. Okay, so suppose if your number is given like this 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 Then first you have to check, this is given as a integer information to you, 1 2 3 4. First task is identify that how many digits. So I hope we have already discussed this type of questions in the assignments, if you can remember. So what is the last digit, what is the second last digit? So you can perform like the operation of the divisor by 10. Okay, 1 2 3 4. Okay, so what you can do, you perform a division, that remainder option. Okay, so just divide by 10. What you will get, or not, just division, not reminder, just division. Okay, so by 10, what will happen in this way, you will get only this part. Okay, 1 2 3. Okay, and this part will be removed. So repeat this operation continuously until you will get a that zero value like this. Okay, so in that way you can find out the total number of digit. After that, by the same process, then you can also perform the 1 to the power, after getting the number of digit, then simply perform 1 to the power 4 plus 2 to the power 4 plus 3 to the power 4 plus 4 to the power 4. And then you can check if you are getting this sum is equal to the same number or not. So that, I think, one function is already given to you in the code. Not given, otherwise you can directly use the math function. So the math square root, all these things. Math power, POW, that function you can use. Okay. So in this way, some logic you need to apply here. Just try to figure the logic. This is just this type of some problem we have already given in the assignments also.
Yes,
How
sir.
we can find the digits in the number. Okay, so just apply that. Otherwise, Friday definitely we will discuss the solution completely. But before that, so the first part will be definitely easy. Okay, so conditional based questions and only loop based questions will be there. And in the second part, some logical questions will be there. That will also not very difficult. If you have solved all graded practice programming assignments by your own, definitely that questions will also be easy. And you have choice also. Okay, so 2 questions in first part, 2 questions in second part.
Sir, it is exact like the mock paper, right?
Exact, not exact question, but conceptually same type of way. You will get a conditional question, conditional statement question. You will get a for loop based questions similar to your mock, but questions will be different definitely. Okay,
Yes, sir.
what is the
So
minimum
we
amount of syllabus of C programming I have to learn to qualify the quiz 2? There's no first thing. There's no quiz like, for C. With almost 65% to 75% answer, what is the minimum percentage to qualifying C programming in qualifier? I'm not getting your query completely. So quiz 2, there is no quiz 2 for C programming course. We have only quiz 1, which you have already given in the as a qualifier. Okay, so that marks will be considered as a quiz 1. And then we have OPP 1 exam, then OPP 2 exam, then final term exam. Okay, so this is the only exam which in the C. Week 6 PP 3.
Sir, I have a question, operational one actually. Can I ask?
Amit, go ahead.
Yeah, so just wanted to confirm, like we gave the qualifiers and we enrolled for the C course, and we haven't done the SCT part. So just wanted
So
to.
there is no SCT for the qualifier student, those who just qualified and entered this course.
Okay,
Okay, so you can
okay,
directly give the exam, no problem for this
okay,
SCT
okay.
center.
Thank you, sir, for
Okay, but
confirming.
the basic requirement for the OPP exam is just your laptop should be in the good condition, and you should your laptop should have the camera also. Okay, that camera should be
Okay,
working, and proper internet. Okay, connection should be there, and
okay,
otherwise the remaining things Proctor will be to you at the time of joining. All the details of the joining meeting link, everything will be shared by the mail soon.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
just
Thank you so
follow,
much.
just read all the instruction once you receive the instruction, and just follow all the instruction for the exam.
Okay, sir.
After
Okay.
joining that exam, you have to give the exam of the same type of platform as your course. Okay, so similar type of problem which you are solving in the programming assignment. So you will
Okay.
get a similar type of platform.
Okay. So the just like the ones what we get in the graded programming assignments and
Yes.
uh, okay, the interface will be the same, some similar to that.
Interface will be exact same, but the link will be different. So you have to give the exam on the shared link, not the course
O-
link. Okay. So
Okay.
that link, when you will open, you will get only the instructions or only the problem state questions. Okay. So
Okay.
just open that question and solve similar to your grid programming assignments.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is the question. Write a function get char that accept two parameter, the address of the first character of a string s and an integer k, which represent the position of the character in the string. The function returns the kth character in a string. Okay. I think solution is already in my. I think I have discussed this question in the previous some session. So, what is your doubt, Swastika Saha, in this?
So just I want to ask you what these questions mean.
Okay. So, in the code which is given in the main function, what we are asking. So, this is pointer related things. So, first we will understand the main part what we are doing. You can see. So int n is just an integer variable. Character a, we have the array of 100 elements. Scanf, we are reading integer, sorry, strings first. Okay. So that string will be assigned to this array. Scanf, we are reading the input for n. After that, we are passing this n value inside the getChar function. So that means this first value is the address of first character in the string, and this n is just representing as a position of the specific character. If n equal to 2 or this value is equal to 2, that means second character you need to return from the string. And now just see this sample input. So hello. Okay, so this is a string. Now address of h, this is you have in the pointer. Okay, this is passed in the function, and you need to receive this address inside pointer p, and you need to return a second character. Okay, you have the address of first character and you need to return a second character or maybe third character. That will be asked in the different test case. So you can see the test case here. So test case 2 is programming. Okay, so this is a complete string. You have the address of p, first character p, in the pointer p. Okay, now you need to return a fifth character. Okay, what is the fifth character in this string? Okay, so how you will calculate the address of fifth character? How you will return a character at the fifth position? So p is the first, ROGR. Okay, so this R is the fifth character. You can see first is p, second is R, third is O, fourth is G, and fifth character is R. So with the help of first character address, how you can calculate the address of fifth character? So that we need to return. So pointer containing the address of first character, and so all characters actually stored in the continuous memory location. Okay, so suppose first character is stored at the 1000 address. Okay, so 1000. Each character takes 1 byte. So that means next character will be stored at 1001 location. Next character will be stored at 1002 location. So each characters are stored in the continuous memory locations after each 1 byte. So how you can return a fifth character or sixth character? Simply add the value of that location. So what location we are passing here? So if we are passing like, so first address is suppose, let me explain here. Okay, so HELLO. Suppose this is the string. So this is stored like this in the array. So H is stored here, E, then L, then L, then O. Okay, so like this in the memory location. Suppose this address is 1000. This will be the 1001, 002, 1003, and 1004, like this. Okay, so the all character will come like this. Now you are receiving this address. So this is P equal to this 1000. So how you can return the k? K suppose is 3. Okay, so that means you have the this 1000. You need to return a third character. So for third character, so that means this is the first, second, third. Okay, and address is working like as a 100 plus 2. For third character, add 2 value. Okay, one less than what you want to get here. So if you want to third, because we are considering this as a first character, which is as a base address. So what you can do, you can simply add 1000 plus this 3, 3 minus 1, okay, in this
Yes, sir.
address, and return the corresponding value at that address. So this is the asterisk. So that means after adding this, you will get a 1002, and this is address, and you want to read the value of that address, just use the dereferencing. So use asterisk sign. So this you need to return. So this formula you need to use. So that means base address P plus K value. Okay, so K minus 1. Okay, and then return a dereferencing value for that. So this part you need to return in your code. So that is the solution. You can see return inside the bracket P plus K minus 1, and then after closing the bracket asterisk referencing for that location we are returning. So that will return a character of that location. Okay, so this is the solution for this.
Yes, sir, understood.
Okay. Okay, so I hope query done. Any query? Okay, so tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday continuously we have session. So revision session, just check the calendar. So join all the sessions and actively participate. Okay, then no query. Then thanks. We're closing the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.